Good morning, everybody. And a very special welcome today to Rabbi Miriam and to Lisa Kent and Danny. I'm sorry, Danny, I missed your last name. From the Danforth Jewish Circle. We're very glad that you could all join us today. So today we're talking about Hanukkah. And one thing that I did not know about Hanukkah that I learned this week was its meaning. I did not know that Hanukkah means dedication. So I found out that Hanukkah means to be completely committed to some task or purpose, which really makes sense if you think about the story of Hanukkah. It took a great amount of dedication for Matthias Maccabee to raise an army of Jewish people. And when he died, it took a great amount of dedication for his son Judah to take over and lead. Definitely pushing Antiochus and the Greeks out of Israel with their much smaller army took great dedication by the Jewish people. But they managed it, and pushing the Greeks out was the first miracle of Hanukkah, the first miracle of their dedication. After they won back their land, the Jewish people went to their temple, their dedicated holy site, the place they would go to worship and talk to God in their way, much like we do here. And unfortunately, they found it ruined. The Greeks had trashed the temple, broken the furniture, left garbage all over the place, and put up altars to their own gods. Well, after that, the Jewish people dedicated themselves to the task of cleaning up their temple. They got rid of all the mess and the garbage. They took down the Greek altars and they cleaned everything. They were still dedicated to the purpose of the temple and what it meant to them. They wanted to do a ceremony at the newly cleaned temple to rededicate it to God. But they were only able to find enough oil to light the candles for one night. And they knew it would take much longer than that to get more oil. But their dedication was strong, and they lit the oil and the candles anyway. And it burned for 8 whole nights, long enough for them to get more oil. And that's the second miracle of Hanukkah. And neither of these miracles would have happened if the Jewish people hadn't been dedicated enough to try something that seemed impossible. I wondered what we might learn if we followed this idea of dedication. I wonder what each of us might dedicate ourselves to. With the coming of winter and yet more need to stay inside, it's a perfect time to think about dedicating yourself to something. I wonder what you might turn to. What task or purpose could you find? You might dedicate yourself to something fun or to something serious. You might dedicate yourself to helping people or to just making sure you stay okay. Whatever it might be is something only you can say for yourself. But I wonder what miracles might happen if we dedicated ourselves to something. Because if there's one thing I've learned from this story of Hanukkah, it's that when you're really dedicated to something and you never give up, anything can happen. That's all the time we have for this morning, but I hope that you've learned a little bit about the power of dedication, about the power of Hanukkah. Thank you for listening.